Welcome to the Chronivo Podcast, where we dive into the most pressing events and news shaping our world today. I'm your host, and today we're discussing the aftermath of Hurricane Milton, which has wreaked havoc across Florida. This storm, once a powerful Category 3 hurricane, made landfall near Siesta Key and tore through the state, leaving a path of destruction in its wake. Now a post-tropical cyclone, Milton has left behind devastating damage, tragic loss of life, in countless communities in need of recovery. In this episode, we'll cover the hardest hit areas, the heroic efforts to rescue those trapped, and the long road ahead for rebuilding. Let's get into the details. The scale of the disaster Hurricane Milton began as a Category 3 storm, slamming into Siesta Key, Florida, with its dangerous winds and torrential rains. As it moved inland, it weakened to a Category 1, but the destruction was far from over. According to the National Hurricane Center, the death toll has tragically risen to 9, with fatalities across various counties, including St. Lucie, Citrus, Ormond Beach, and St. Petersburg. Florida's Gulf Coast, particularly the Manasota Key and Grove City areas, bore the brunt of the storm. Drone footage from CNN shows the shocking extent of the damage, with flooded streets, destroyed homes, and debris strewn across neighborhoods. The storm's power was so intense that in St. Petersburg, a construction crane collapsed from a high-rise building, crashing into a nearby structure and leaving the area resembling a war zone. Tornadoes and power outages. As if the hurricane itself wasn't enough, Milton spawned multiple tornadoes across St. Lucie County, causing significant damage. Over 100 homes were completely destroyed. These aren't just homes with broken windows or missing shingles. We're talking about homes reduced to rubble, leaving families displaced and grappling with total loss. The county's emergency response equipment was also severely damaged, creating additional challenges for rescue and relief efforts. At the peak of the storm, over 3.2 million Floridians were left without power. Governor Ron DeSantis announced that power has been restored to about 700,000 customers, but millions are still in the dark. And the situation is dire in places like Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Sarasota, where gas stations are running dry. Boil water notices and flooding. One of the critical issues in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton is access to clean water. In St. Petersburg, major water main breaks have forced officials to issue a boil water notice. Residents are advised to boil their water before drinking, cooking, or even brushing their teeth. This boil notice affects not just St. Petersburg, but also Gulfport, South Pasadena, and other nearby areas. The city is working hard to restore water pressure, but it could be days before everything returns to normal. Meanwhile, in Hillsborough County, the floodwaters have reached dangerous levels. Torrential rainfall, not storm surges, flooded the area, submerging streets and the first floors of apartment buildings. Rescuers deployed amphibious vehicles to assist those trapped, including 135 elderly and disabled individuals who had been evacuated from Bradenton to seek shelter. These efforts show the resilience and determination of first responders in the face of overwhelming odds. Impact on infrastructure. Hurricane Milton's fierce winds didn't just destroy homes and flood streets. One of the more unexpected casualties was Tropicana Field in Pinellas County, home to the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team. The roof was ripped off, and the stadium, which was set to serve as a makeshift shelter for first responders, was severely compromised. In some parts of Pinellas County, up to 17 inches of rain fell, further compounding the damage. It's clear that the road to recovery will be long and challenging. The affected communities are dealing with collapsed buildings, torn apart infrastructure, and the monumental task of rebuilding lives. As Florida assesses the full extent of the damage from Hurricane Milton, the immediate focus is on rescue operations, restoring power and water, and clearing the wreckage. But the long-term recovery process will take months, if not years. From homes reduced to rubble in St. Lucie County to entire neighborhoods flooded in Hillsborough, the resilience of Floridians is being tested once again. Stay tuned to Chronivo Podcast for more updates on the recovery efforts and how communities are coming together in the face of this disaster. In the meantime, our thoughts are with those affected by Hurricane Milton, and we encourage our listeners to support relief efforts in any way they can. Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to subscribe and stay informed on the latest news impacting our world. Until next time, stay safe.
Because you guys, I'm sure, cut up to a certain point.
It's going to be over our roof.
It's going to be over the roof of our little house down there.
Place. And we have some great clients that, yeah, they're going to be devastated.